Thank you.
A couple of questions if I could. First on Mark Delgado, when John put this team together, and I was looking for a lot of different things, but I think with Delgado, he got like experience and veteran leadership. And we've already seen him, make an impact in 2 games. I wonder if you could talk a little bit about what he brings. And then the second question is that delay near the end of the game. We understand there was some derogatory comments made. Do you have anything to say about what happened there?
Yeah, Marky, when we look at scout players and obviously scouting domestically is easy. We see guys all the time, especially Marky. There are certain characteristics we look for in players who are winners, players who can play both sides of the ball. MLS experience. We were going through a little transition in our roster, trying to get a little younger, but you still need some experience in the middle of the park. And Marky kind of was that piece of the puzzle that put it all together. So we're very happy he's with us, and he's fit in very well. Comes to work with a smile on his face and works hard, and hasn't really needed much time at all to kind of figure our way of playing out. So I'm couldn't be happier. I think one of Colorado's player had heard something, a word that bothered him, and he thought it was directed towards him. I don't know exactly what was said. I was on the sideline, so I'm sure referees will write a report, and then we'll figure it out from there. But yeah, I mean, obviously, if players hear something and they can't play, we want to support the players and play the match. So we'll let referees and Concacaf figure that one out.
Thank you.
Steve, a couple things. First off, on that comment, our understanding is that it came from Valencia. If it came, is that your understanding?
That is also my understanding, yeah.
The Colorado did a nice job of keeping things tight. Well-organized defense, what you expect from a Chris Armas team. Just in terms of dealing with that and then finding your opening there at the beginning of the second half.
I think yes, Colorado did what they needed to do in the first half, and they played a good game last week in Denver. I thought we contributed to their efforts defensively by moving the ball a little too slow, not attacking the spaces we talked about before the game, and then also just kind of handing them a few gifts, trying to jam it up the middle. When we tell players before the game, that's just not what we want to do, and players go out and do the exact opposite. It's always going to be difficult. Thankfully, we weren't punished for it. And in the second half, it was much better. And I thought we were much more dangerous and had more control of the game. And for me, it felt like it was only a matter of time. And that's what happened. So I was quite happy with the second half, but not the first. And we'll learn from that and try to improve.
Steve, Oscar with BC Films, great win at home. Congratulations for that. Maybe it wasn't the best game play in a while from LAFC. What do you take from today's game? And I would like to know a little bit more about what are your thoughts about your next opponent, Columbus Crew, for the next match?
I mean, there are many reasons why players are not at their best. You start the season last Tuesday, not ideal conditions. Turn around, play an MLS game, now again Saturday, and then again Tuesday. That's a lot of games for small rosters at the beginning of the season, and we've leaned on pretty much the same group each of these 3 games. That's one explanation. I think also give Colorado a little credit too. They made it difficult on us, and our players weren't able to find those solutions. I also felt maybe in the first 20 minutes our players looked a little nervous, to be honest with you. That I can't explain. That's a question for the players. But we settled in nicely in the second half, and I think got the job done. I think at this stage in the season, it's more about getting the results you need, and if performances are not where we need them to be, we'll improve on that. Putting performances and results together can come later, and you're going to need some rest for that too. Part of it is physical. Yeah. The Crew team, we know, an excellent team, won at home a couple days ago. So they're off and running as well. It's always a handful, offensive, many tools that can break you down. Team who, will dominate possession and controls game with the ball. We can do the opposite. So it should be a good matchup. And certainly, it's a team that we want to beat. But I'm looking forward to it.
Steve over here, a couple from me. Colorado came out in a 4-3-3, which was different from them. Did that influence some of the difficulty that you had in the early going?
Yeah, it's kind of a hybrid. It's more of just them prioritizing some spaces defensively that they felt were vulnerable after the first game. So Chris reacted to what happened in game one. Our guys couldn't react fast enough in half one to really make a difference. They didn't have to. And we found the vulnerable spaces and we're able to capitalize. And so surprises, no. Teams will always react if you're playing them in multiple matches. We do the same. And there's nothing, I have no rules against the players actually finding solutions on the field without me telling them at halftime.
As far as David Martinez, he was the only change you made to the starting lineup from the first leg. Obviously comes up with the assist. He tried to be influential on the field. What did you make of his overall performance on the night?
Yeah, he was active, which is great. David is not good when he's static and kind of sits in his position. He was very active. I think at times roaming a little too much. We talk about positional integrity is important for our model and the way we want to score goals. And if one person is consistently missing in spots where he needs to be, then you're having two players do kind of the same thing, and we don't need that. So, learning a little more along the lines of stay in his position when we're in an attacking phase will help and will improve also his game. So we'll work with him with that so he can improve. But overall, a very active and energetic game that we like to see. And David, when he's on the field, he is prolific, whether it's setting goals up or scoring himself. And he's continuing, and that's very important for an attacker.
And lastly, for me, you're not giving up many chances. Hugo didn't have to make a save until after the 90th minute against Minnesota, and no saves tonight, no shots on target. What do you owe this early success defensively, really limiting the opposition to?
Me being a pain in the ass in training. No, it's really the effort of the players. It's so basic. Defensive part of the game for us is it's black and white. There's no gray area. And the offensive game is where creativity comes in, and there's not maybe clear solutions for players. That's why they're out there and their names on the back of their jerseys. We look to their experiences and their creativity to figure some things out. But defensively, we have clear rules, and right now the players are staying disciplined, following the rules, and not conceding many chances, as you pointed out.
Coach, congrats on the win.
Thanks.
First couple matches, 60% plus possession, 500 plus passes completed, and they kind of turned it around on you today and did what we've done or what you've done for the first couple matches. Was this a tactical change? Did you come in trying to slow the ball down a little bit more, or what do you think kind of led to that?
Probably the scoreline. I don't have the possession numbers in the first half, but I imagine they're pretty equal. And then once you score in a two-leg series, it changes the dynamic of the game completely. And we had a few really good counterattack moments to close it out. And then I don't think there would be as stressful in the end as it was. But I think the scoreline changed that stat for us. Otherwise, I think it would have been close to 50-50 or maybe a little advantage for us.
We got two more questions right there.
Good evening, coach, and congratulations on the win. Your team obviously did a great job by not only getting the goal to advance to the next round, but to also keep Rapids from not scoring. What were some of the key factors that led to your team to getting this result, advancing?
Yeah, I think a combination of good defensive work as a group, either pressing together or in a lower block, nothing in between, which got caught a few times against Colorado and at Minnesota, against Minnesota a couple of days ago. And then I think in the second half, our effort going forward and creating a few more chances with the ball, those were the differences tonight. And I felt that in most parts of the game, we were always a little closer to scoring, with the exception of maybe the first 10 minutes. So I think that those combined areas led us to victory tonight.
Last question.
Aaron Long left at halftime, his situation, and do you have a feel yet for the weekend, or is it too early?
Regarding Aaron.
Yeah.
Yeah, precautionary, so, no injury to report, just precautionary. He usually turns things around quickly, but I have to wait until tomorrow, to find out for this weekend, but since there's no injury, I'm certainly optimistic and hopeful.
He said tightness.
Yeah,
Sound right?
that's the
Is
information I have.
that thigh or?
No, a little lower.